Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We are working on the animation series episode 4 today, which is going to be all about costume changing for a sprite so it looks like whenever a sprite is walking, it looks like they're actually walking. So the very first thing you want to do is save the project, go to File, click Save as a Copy. You'll be left with Animation Episode 3 Copy. Change that name to Animation Episode 4, and we're going to get started. We're leaving off from where we left off last episode, which is, so in the city bus sprite, we have this considerably not much amount of code. We have the backdrop 1 sprite, which we use for background scrolling. We have the backdrop 2 sprite that we also use for the background scrolling because it is kind of necessary. There is the nighttime sprite that shows whenever it becomes nighttime. And I have a thumbnail sprite. And we have the regular backdrop or the regular stage that has really all this much code. Now we'll go to the city bus and get started. So what you first want to do is go to choose a sprite on top of the sprite button and just search up cat or whichever one you want. Just make sure it has costumes that make it look like it's walking, or you can paint your own. Now what we can do is either drag these pieces of code into the cat sprite, because there's no way we're actually going to be doing all of this all over again, or just go to the cat sprite, go to the costumes tab, and drag it into the city bus sprite. Just double checking if both of the cat costumes are in there. If so, then delete the cat sprite. Delete the cat sprite. And once you've done that, just head over to the city bus sprite, or we'll just name it main character. Mostly because if we just leave it as city bus, it wouldn't make much sense. And also drag the cat sprites to the first and second costumes in the costumes tab. And the city bus A is third, city bus B is fourth, cat A is 1, and cat B is 2. Once you've done that, we'll go to the when the green flag clicked, and for this, well, right now what it looks like is, yeah, it looks pretty much the same, except this cat is using telekinesis. So what we want to do is make it so the cat isn't using telekinesis, but in fact it is walking. And also, another thing that I forgot to mention in some of the previous videos is the fact that you want a backdrop that transitions neatly, because as you can see right now, it looks kind of cut, and we will work on the backdrop in a later video. But I'm just saying that to keep it in your mind. Anyways, now what we want to do is in the code tab of the main character, get a forever loop and put it under this when green flag clicked. Go to looks and grab a next costume. Now normally this would work, but since we have the city bus costumes in here, if we start it, yeah, it kind of changes a bit too abruptly, and you can see it kind of blinks into a city bus. So what you want it to do is make it so it'll stop when it's at the cat B costume and go back to cat A, which is really simple. Go to control, get an if statement and put it under the next costume. go to looks, scroll all the way down, and grab a costume number block. Go to operators, get an equals operator and put it in the if statement. Grab the costume number and put in the first slot of the equals operator, and set the second slot to detecting if it's 2. So if the costume number equals 2, then switch costume to cat A. So now if we start the project, it mostly doesn't change because it goes so fast, you don't completely see it. So we just want to put a wait 1 second. Yeah, as you can see, it also kind of abruptly does that. So we just want to add a wait 1 second in here. And yeah, it does kind of work. So you might want to put a wait 1 second somewhere else. There, now it does work. It does pretty much work. So you can drag this wait 1 second and throw it out. So now if we start it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, at the beginning, switch costume to cat A. So now when we start it, it looks like it is actually walking. Now if that's a bit too small of a delay for you, you can set it to something like 0.5 seconds on each one, so it does seem a bit more safe and a bit more quicker. And you saw there that it said we have arrived, have a good night again. So please do feel free to change up some of these timer stuff and this say block, mostly because it wouldn't make sense if that one alone cat is just saying that. So now if we start the project again, it seems a little faster. We could obviously set it to something like 0.25 seconds, and it would be a bit more quicker if that is your liking. There. And just for the sake of testing it, I am going to set this one just to like some random high number. And so will I set this. This is an unneeded step, but just for the sake of testing it. And then we will start it. And you can see this cat is running with all its might. Now, again, you can change these wait blocks, because this may seem a little too slow for you. But if you just can't seem to get the walking animation just right, you can just stop the project and go to the backdrop sprites and just change this up. So like change it to -5 on both, so it works a bit better. Now he looks like he's working a bit too hard for no reason much. Or this may look good for you. So yeah, you can mess with both of these values, or you can mess with them around. And yeah, oops, I accidentally set that to wait 35. There. Now if I start the project again, there, yeah, there, it should now work. It looks like it works a bit better, at least. And again, I'm going to change this variable to a big number, mostly because it just shows nighttime out of nowhere. So this is one way you can make it keep on walking like that. So it does look a bit better. Now, you can't only do this with just the cat sprite. You can use different sprites like the Avery walk. As you can see, it has multiple walking animations. So if I just pause the project for now, I can just duplicate this, drag it into the Avery walk, and just click that. There, so this also will work. You may want to change the timers because it looks like Avery is struggling to walk right now. So there, it looks like she is actually walking instead of making her like float with telekinesis, just like the main character just used to do. So you can use this for other sprites that have that sort of walking animation. But that's really all for the video. This is a considerably short video, but it is something important to include in animations, in Scratch, or any other program. Or it is an important thing entirely when you're making platformer games or anything that includes walking or jumping or stuff like that. There are different ways you can make jumping costumes for this cat, but that normally takes a long time, so I won't be doing that in this video. So basically, that's all for the video. See ya.